In this video, I'm going to break down a powerful form of manipulation that helps confirm market reversals. This approach is simple, and all you need are two candles to spot this manipulation. If you follow this, you'll be able to identify higher probability reversals with more confidence. So let's get straight into it. Now let me show you how most traders get manipulated. Suppose you've already done your top-down analysis. Your bias is clear. Everything aligns perfectly. Now price comes down and sweeps liquidity in the direction of your bias. At this moment, you start trusting this liquidity sweep. You think, okay, this is it. Price is ready to move. After the sweep, price creates a fair value gap. So you plan to enter immediately. You place your orders at that fair value gap, expecting price to continue in your direction. But this is where most traders get trapped. Instead of continuing, price inverses that fair value gap. Price moves back down. It goes lower and takes the same lows again, the same liquidity that was already swept. This second move is not random. This is the manipulation leg. The first liquidity sweep was not the entry. It was designed to invite early traders in. The fair value gap was used as bait, and the inversion was created to remove weak hands and clean stops. Only after manipulation is complete, the real expansion begins. So remember this. A liquidity sweep does not mean immediate entry. Wait for manipulation to finish. Wait for displacement after the market shows its true intention. Because manipulation first, expansion later, is how the market really moves. So basically, what I'm trying to say is this. You do not need to hurry at every liquidity sweep to enter a trade. Liquidity being taken does not mean you must enter immediately. You need to wait patiently. Price will always try to attract you by giving you what looks like a proper setup or a clean entry confirmation. But many times, even after everything looks perfect, you still get stopped out. Why? Because at that moment, you were caught as a retail trader. And smart money always hunts retail stop losses before moving in the actual direction. This is why you must start thinking 2 steps ahead. First step, ask yourself, if I were entering this trade normally, where would I place my stop loss? Second step, ask yourself, if another trader was taking the same trade, where would he place his stop loss? Once you clearly imagine where those stop losses are resting, do not enter yet. Instead, wait for price to move into those stop loss areas. Wait for price to attack those levels first. Only after those stops are taken do you look for your entry. And this is how you avoid unnecessary stop losses. Patience is not optional, because the market rewards those who wait for manipulation to finish, not those who rush to be right. Now let me show you some real market examples of how to properly observe manipulation and avoid getting manipulated yourself. Pay close attention to price behavior, not indicators. Because once you learn how manipulation actually forms, you will stop reacting emotionally and start anticipating moves like smart money does. Let's break it down step by step. Here you can see that as price swept sell-side liquidity, it instantly gave a change in state of delivery and also formed a fair value gap. Now, if I had entered immediately at that fair value gap or at the change in state of delivery, I would have gotten stopped out. So in this situation, I need to think 1 step ahead of myself. Instead of entering, I ask this question. If I were taking a reversal trade from here, where would my stop loss be placed? Obviously, my stop loss would be below this low. So what do? I wait for price to move toward the level where my stop loss would be. And that's exactly what happens. Here you can see anyone who entered on that initial confirmation gets stopped out at this low. Now pay close attention to this part. After price takes the previous sweep low, this is how it looks on the 15-minute time frame. Notice this 2-candle pattern. See how the next candle closes inside the previous candle's low. This tells us that manipulation has already happened. Now, at this point, if I enter using any PD array, I avoid getting manipulated. I'm no longer early. I'm entering after stop losses are taken, after liquidity is cleared, and after smart money has shown its intention. And now, I can enter comfortably And as you can see, price works perfectly from here. Here you can see we have one more real example of manipulation. Price has already swept sell-side liquidity at this level. Now, when we drop down to the 1-minute time frame, we see multiple confirmations. You can see 2 inverse fair value gaps and 2 regular fair value gaps, and both of them are getting respected. Everything looks perfect. But suddenly, price moves straight down into the stop losses of retail traders. This is exactly how retail traders get trapped. Now, if we step back to the 15-minute time frame, you can clearly see the same 2-candle pattern forming after the liquidity sweep. This pattern is extremely important. What I'm trying to say is this: after every liquidity sweep, you should wait for this 15-minute candle pattern. Yes, sometimes price may go to targets without forming it, but most of the time, if that happens, there is usually some form of SMT divergence involved. So instead of rushing entries, wait for this pattern to appear first. Once this pattern forms, I drop back down to the lower time frame for entries. And now I can enter on any type of confirmation. Why? Because this pattern tells me something very important. I can now comfortably place my stop loss below that low. Liquidity has already been taken. Manipulation is complete. And as you can clearly see, price works perfectly from here. Price moves straight into the premium zone. And as I always tell you, never target the full range. You only need to target the discount and premium zones. That's how consistency is built. That's it for this video. If this helped you, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to join my mentorship program, the link is in the description. And for any questions or doubts, you can join my Discord. I'll see you in the next one.